Welcome back to our chapter for the mental reframing, the power of perception control. Perception shapes reality. Two people can experience the exact same event but interpret it in entire different ways. One may see failure while the other sees opportunity. While the other feels empowered, the difference between them is not the event itself but the frame through which they view it. This is the essence of mental reframing. The ability to change how you perceive and interpret the world, shifting your mindset from one that weakens you to one that strengthens you. The most powerful individual in history, leader, innovators, and visionaries understood that the way they framed events determined their success or failure. They were not immune to hardship or adversity, but they controlled how they perceived and responded to it. Most people go through life trapped within the frame that have been imposed upon them. These frames come from childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, and societal expectations. If you were told from a young age that you are not good enough, that money is sacred, or that success is only for a select few, you unconsciously accept these frames as a truth. But what if these truths are nothing more than mental prisoning? What if the limitations you perceive are simply illusion created by the way you frame reality? Mental reframing is the key to breaking free from these mental chains. It allows you to take control of your thought, redefine your beliefs, and ultimately reshape your destiny. The science of framing: why your mind accepts certain reality. Framing is not just a psychological concept. It is a fundamental aspect of how the human brain processes information. Your mind is constantly filtering reality, selecting which details to focus on and which to ignore. This is because the brain receives an overwhelming amount of data at any given moment, and it must simplify and organize this information into meaningful patterns. The frame you place around a situation determines whether what your brain focuses on, how it interprets the event. For example, imagine two people facing the same challenge, a business failure. One person frames it as a disaster, proof that they are incapable and a reason to give up. The other frames it as a lesson, an opportunity to learn, and a stepping stone toward future success. Same event, different frame, completely different outcomes. This is why some people become stronger through adversity while others crumble under it. The key is to not challenge reality itself but to change the meaning you assign to it. Neurological reframing works because of neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to recognize itself by framing neural connection. When you repeatedly view situations through a new frame, your brain rewires itself to adopt that perspective as your default reality. This reality with that perceive that reality is perceive, you can that adopt. You can train your mind to see opportunity where others see obstacles, to find confidence where others feel fear, and to maintain control where others feel powerless. Shifting from a victim mindset to as an empowered mindset. One of the most destructive frames a person can adopt is the victim mindset, the belief that life happens to them, that they have no control, and that their circumstances dictate their destiny. This mindset strips people of their power, making them passive observer of their own lives rather than active participant. It leads to blame, resentment, and a sense of helplessness. But the truth is, no matter what has happened to you, you always have the ability to choose your response, and that choice determines your future. To shift from a victim mindset to an empowered mindset, you must reframe adversity as a challenge rather than a curse. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of seeing obstacle as a roadblock, see them as a test designed to make you stronger. Every successful person has faced setback, rejection, and failure. But they refuse to let these experiences define them. They reframed as a stepping stone rather than dead end. Another crucial shift is moving from external control to internal control. People with a victim mindset believe that their happiness, success, and well-being are determined by external factors. Other people's approval, luck, circumstance beyond their control. Empowered, their control individual on the other hand take full ownership of their reality. They understand that while they cannot always control what happened, they can always control how they respond. This shift is the difference between being a prisoner of life and being the master of your destiny. Reframing fear, turning anxiety into a source of power. Fear is one of the most paralyzing emotions, stopping people from taking risks, pursuing dreams, and stepping outside the comfort zone. But what if the fear is not something to avoid, but something to use as a fuel? This is where reframing fear becomes essential. Most people interpret fear as a warning sign to stop. Their frames tell them that fear means danger, failure, or humiliation, but high performers, elite athlete, entrepreneur, and leaders reframe fear as a signal of growth. They understand that fear doesn't mean stop, it means go forward. The presence of fear indicates that they are stepping into new territory, pushing beyond limitations and expanding their potential. To reframe fear, start by changing the language you use. Instead of saying "I'm nervous," say "I am excited." Instead of saying "I'm afraid to fail," say "I'm about to grow." This simple linguistic shift changes your brain's perception of fear, transforming it from a negative force into a source of motivations. Another technique is visualization reframing. Instead of imagining worst case scenario, Visualize best case scenarios, see yourself succeeding, thriving, and overcoming obstacles with confidence. The more your brain sees success as a real possibility, the more it will align with your make it happen. The power of reframing relationship and conflict. Reframing is not just about personal growth. It is about a powerful tools for transforming relationships and handling conflict. Many people approach disagreement with a loss mindset, seeing the other person as an opponent or to be defeated. But by reframing conflict as a chance for deeper understanding and growth, you remove ego from the equation and focus on resolution rather than demolition. Instead of reframing difficult conversation as a confrontation, reframing them as a collaborations. Instead of assuming negative intent from others, assume positive intent that look for underlying need rather than just words. This shift allows you to communicate more effectively, diffuse tension, and create win-win outcomes in both personal and professional relationships. Reframing also applies to how you view people in general. If you constantly focus on people's flaw, your brain will reform that perception. But if your brain trains to see strengths, potential, and value in others, your interaction will change dramatically. People rise or fall to the level of expectations you set for them. By framing them into a positive light, you encourage them to live up to that perception. Mental reframing is the ultimate tool for rewriting your reality. It allows you to shift from weakness to strength, from fear to confidence, that from limitations to infinite possibilities. The most successful people in the world are not those who avoid obstacles, but those who change how they perceive obstacles. Turning every challenge into an opportunity. Reality is not fixed. Your mind is the lens through which it accepts to change the lens, and you change your life. For today, it will be final for the chapter 4, and we will continue our next chapter 5 in our next part. Keep listening, keep growing, keep self-help, and keep listening. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.